my name's Karen Stangram and welcome to Conquer Crochet, the channel for tips, tricks and techniques for conquering your crochet. Everything I talk about in today's video will be linked in the descriptions below. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss a single stitch. So if you're keen to get going with this video, give me a thumbs up and let's do this. So for this tutorial I'm using Starcraft Aran. I'm also using a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors to cut off my end and my needle for sewing in my ends. So we're going to start off by making a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And we're then going to make our foundation chain. Your foundation chain needs to be done in odd numbers, so I'm going to do 19 for mine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So pause the video whilst you make your foundation chain and I will join you back here. Remember to do it in odd numbers. So I've made my foundation chain now. I've done mine in 19. I'm now going to chain one more, which is going to be our turning chain, and that's going to give us the height for our work. We're now going to do a row of double crochets. That's UK terminology. In US terminology that would be single crochet. We're not going to count the loop on the hook. We're going to do our double crochet in the second chain from the hook, so not this one. 1, 2, we're going to work into this space here, and to do that we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. So do that one again. So insert into the chain, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. Insert, yarn over, pull the yarn through, yarn over and twist as you're pulling your yarn through so that you don't lose that yarn. We're going to continue all the way down this row with our double crochets, so pause the video now whilst you double crochet down your foundation chain. So I've just finished my foundation row of double crochets. So from now on we're going to do a 2-row repeated pattern, which you can do for as long as you want throughout your piece of work. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn our work. Now this 3 chain is going to count as a treble in what we're doing, but we're actually working a stitch that's our first bobble. So we're going to be working into that stitch, even though normally I say if this stitch counts you would start working in the next one. This stitch counts, but we haven't finished this stitch off. So we're going to finish this stitch off, so this counts as one of our trebles. We're now going to do another 4 trebles, but these are going to be joined together. So what we need to do is to yarn over, insert through both parts of that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now normally we would pull yarn over and pull through these 2. We're not going to, we're going to leave them on the hook. So we have 2 trebles. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, leave the others on the hook. So now we have 3 trebles. We need 5 in total, so we need to do 2 more. So go through that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, leave the rest on the hook. And the last one, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook. They count for the 5 trebles that we have there. And we're going to yarn over and pull through all of those stitches. And that creates our first bobble. In the next stitch we're going to do a double crochet. So we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both of those. Now as with the puff stitch, Whenever you're making your bobbles, you're actually making them when you're working on the wrong side of your work, so they'll push through from the other side. Okay, we now need to make another 5 treble cluster. So we're going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. We're leaving them on the hook. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. So the last one, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have our 5 stitches, which we can now yarn over and pull through the top of all of those chains. Now I just dropped mine, it's not a problem. If you gently pull back through and get all your loops on the yarn, there we go, and we double crochet into the next stitch. Now we do another 5 treble cluster. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and the last one, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We have our 5 loops on our hook, which corresponds to our 5 trebles. We yarn over and we pull back through all 5 loops on our hook, and you can see how the bobbles are starting to be created. And these bobbles are done in exactly the same way all the way along, except the first one of the bobble row, which will be a chain 3. So that first one will always be slightly different. You chain 3 and you do 4 trebles, but all of the others you're going to do 5 trebles in that same stitch, and then in between each bobble you're going to do a double crochet. So you make your treble bobble. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we join them all up together and a double crochet in between. So continue crocheting down your row in this way with your 5 treble cluster, then a double crochet, 5 treble cluster, double crochet, and I will join you at the end of the row. So when you get to the end of your row, your last stitch is going to be a treble cluster. So we need to do our 5 trebles, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and we join those together. Now we don't have a stitch to go into, so we're just going to chain 1 just to hold that stitch together. Now your work may well be curling, that's absolutely fine. We have a lot of stitches going into not so many stitches. Once we add more rows to this, this will flatten out, so don't worry if your work's starting to curl up. So for the next row we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. So we're now working on the right side, and we basically need to work along here in order to get back to the wrong side to make the next row of bobbles. So this row is really simple. We're just going to be doing double crochets, and we're going to work into the long stitches that have been created by making the bobbles and the short stitches that were created by doing the double crochets, and we're just going to double crochet into each of those. So into the long one, into the short one, into the long one, into the short one. Now you might find your short ones are a bit tighter depending how tight you crochet, but just make sure you're going into the top of a bobble and then the one in between the bobbles, into the top of the bobble, which will be longer, and then into the shorter one, which is where we did our doubles. And do that all the way along your row, and I will join you at the end. So we've now finished our pattern with 1 row of bobble stitch, 1 row of double crochet, and that bobble stitch double crochet row just repeats all the way through until you have the piece the size that you want. You may have noticed your work is not curving as much, and as I said, that will straighten out throughout the piece of work you make. So let me just show you how we do that first bobble stitch in the row. So we chain 3, that counts as a treble. We work into the first stitch with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and and we don't do 5 because we've got this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We yarn over and we pull through. So your 3 chain counts as a treble. You make 4 more trebles in that cluster. You double crochet into the next stitch. Then all your other stitches, which are bobble stitches, are done this way. So you do a treble, you don't finish it off. So that's 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and we do the 5th one here because there was no chain 3, yarn over and pull through, make your double crochet, and we continue with that all the way up our piece of work. So I've just done a few more rows here just so you can see how the pattern looks, and you almost get these sort of squares of bobbles working up your pattern. Really lovely way for adding a bit of texture to your work. Here's a little bit of a stash buster because you are putting a lot of stitches in for not much progress in your work, but you do get a really lovely feel and it's a lovely texture to the bobbles that you're making. And that's how to do the bobble stitch. I really hope you found today's tutorial useful. If there are any information that you need to find out about this video, have a look in the descriptions below where I post all the links to any freebies and other videos I think you might find useful. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed this video, to give me a thumbs up below. Don't forget also to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you've enjoyed it and you'd like to see more of my tutorial videos. There are 2 other videos on screen to help you on your crochet journey, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!